Hello everyone, today I'm at Yokohama Bay, Japan, which is in the city of Yokohama, and this is a rather interesting part of town. There's a mixture of these office buildings, and they also have a lot of hotels here, and there's also an amusement park, and it has this giant Ferris wheel here, and this is called the Yokohama Cosmo World. And looks like there's a clock right there in the center of the wheel, and it says it's 1:50 right now. And though it looks to be closed, they should have their Ferris wheel in operation later on this afternoon. And they also have a second part of the amusement park just right across this bay or inlet here, and there's a lot of these colorful buildings, and I'll try to point out as many of the buildings as I can. And directly behind me towards the bay, there's this rather interesting sail-shaped building, and that is a 5-star hotel. It's called the Intercontinental Yokohama Grand, and that costs about $310 per night to stay there. But there's quite a few other hotels in this area, and this other one directly across the street, this one is a little bit cheaper. This is the Yokohama Bay Hotel, and that's also a 5-star hotel, and this one's only $130 per night. And that really tall building in the back there, that is a mixed use building. It's a office and hotel building. It's called the Yokohama Landmark Tower, and that is a 73-story building that was completed in 1993. And there's a hotel in there as well called the Royal Park Hotel, and that's a little bit cheaper than these other ones. That's only $120 per night. So there's some pretty reasonably priced hotels just right in this area. And if you want to even save it even more money than that, and if you don't mind walking a little bit, which of course I don't mind to walk, I'm just staying at a hotel just a couple blocks from here. It's called the Tokyo Inn Hotel, and I think it's more kind of like for business people, because the rooms are pretty small, and that one is only $50 per night. So got quite a selection of hotels in this area, and they also have a Chinatown nearby as well, and I have been there before, and it's not too far from here. It's about maybe half a mile. But I'm glad I found this part of town, because this is, I think in a lot of ways, this is kind of more interesting than just the couple streets that are Chinatown. But if you do have time, it is kind of interesting to check that out as well. And I also forgot to mention that they also have a cruise port terminal here as well. You just can't see it with the Ferris wheel that's kind of in the way, and of course the tree is in the way as well here. But I was looking online, and you can even take a cruise from Japan to the US, from Tokyo to Seattle, and it's about a 2-week cruise, and it's I believe $1,800 per person. So if you have an extra 2 weeks, and if you like taking cruises, this is where you would be leaving from. Here is the food court. This is at the Queens Square Mall, and it looks like they have a couple of fast food restaurants here, a McDonald's and Subway and KFC. Let's check this out. Here's the KFC, and a chicken sandwich with a drink and fries is about $6. And here's a Subway. Foot-long sandwich there is about $7, $8. And here's the McDonald's. A chicken sandwich with drink and fries is about $6 there as well. So there's a lot of Western style restaurants just right here. I think they kind of put them not really in the basement, but they have other restaurants here that are kind of more Japanese style restaurants. And it's also kind of strange that you don't really see that many McDonald's restaurants here. That's probably like maybe the third restaurant I've seen in Tokyo, and I've been here about 3 weeks now, or just the Tokyo area. We're only about maybe 20 miles from Tokyo right now, and just going up these escalators, and there's just more shopping here. And this is actually a pretty big mall. I would say it's as big as the malls that I've seen, like in Los Angeles or even Las Vegas. And this part of it here, maybe it doesn't have all the shopping, but the other part it does. And this advertisement here for this mall is rather interesting. I'm not sure if you can see it from here, but in this picture there's that giant mountain there in the back, and the background, I think that's Mount Fuji. And what's kind of odd is I've been in Tokyo now for about 3 weeks, and I have not seen Mount Fuji from here. It seems like there's either some building in the way, or it's either overcast and raining. But there are mountains nearby, so if you're into mountain sports, or I even heard they even have skiing there as well. And so if you're into that kind of stuff, the mountains are not too far. And just leaving this part of the mall, and there's a second mall just across the street. And I'm now outside, and the next mall is called the Landmark Plaza, and I'm also getting closer to the Landmark Tower. That's the 73-story tower that I was pointing out earlier. And it looks like on this side, it's a little bit breezy out here, but on this side there's a lot more shopping. They got some high-end stores here. There's a Tiffany and Company on that side, and on the other side looks like another McDonald's. And this mall, it looks to go up several stories, at least 3-4 stories. So there's probably a lot of shopping in here. I'm just going to quickly walk through this, not going to walk on every level. And there's the McDonald's over there. So maybe I just have bad luck about not finding McDonald's, because that's the second one just in this little area. And here is a Lego store. Let's see what's going on at the Lego store. Looks like they got all these little Lego kits. I really don't know much about that. And here's a bookstore. Overall, this looks to be a very typical westernized mall. And here's a shoe store. A luggage store. And here's a clothing store. And that's kind of one thing that I have found different about Japan is people do seem to dress better overall, at least compared to the parts of the US that I've lived in, such as Las Vegas or Colorado. I kind of find people out here overall tend to dress better. Here's a suit store. Now I just gotta find my way out of here. And this is a lingerie store. Of course, they have to have lingerie in Japan. It doesn't look like they want you to leave because all these escalators are going up. Might just have to take the stairs. And I finally made it outside. And now on the other side of the landmark tower. And there it is right there. So the hotel and the shopping mall are part of the same building. And one other thing that's interesting about Japan, like I see everywhere, is people don't really lock their bikes up. All these bikes are just left sitting there, and people just don't seem to be too concerned about theft here. So it's a pretty safe country. And there's the landmark tower. That is just a massive building. I believe this is the third tallest building in Japan. It looks like across the street there's a gas station, and the sign says 166, so that is probably per liter, and that would be I believe about $1.25 per liter at the current exchange. So there's about 4 liters to a gallon, about $5 per gallon for gas. And for Friday, there's not too much traffic. I was expecting there to be more car traffic here, but like most of Japan, it seems like most people either take a bicycle like this or public transportation. There's a lot of subway lines that run through here, and it's pretty easy to get to Tokyo from here. It's only 20 miles to Tokyo, and probably maybe about a half-hour trip just because of all the stops that the subway makes. But a lot of public transportation. Though the only downside that I could think of is the price of the subway, at least for tourists, is really not that cheap. At least not compared to some other cities such as New York or Paris. It's about maybe a $5 trip to Tokyo from here to go 20 miles. So I'm not really sure if people think that's cheap or expensive. I think that's maybe a little bit more than oh, those are cute dogs. That dog even has a little shirt on. Maybe a little bit more than some of the other bigger cities, but I guess not by that much. And there's this other bay area here. This is still part of the Yokohama Bay, and there's this sailboat, and it also looks like a steamship. It's called the Nippon Maru, and you could go on tours of this boat if you're into old sailboats. And there's looks like a tour office down there. Let me see if I get a better view of it, but it's just been parked here in this marina. And there's a better view of the gondolas across the way there. And that just basically takes people from one side of this street over here and takes them pretty much all the way where we started, maybe a little bit further. And there's another shopping mall over there. So it kind of just basically takes people from one shopping mall to another shopping mall. And it's kind of unusual. Looks like someone's kind of sleeping over there. That's one other thing that you really don't see too much of in Japan, are homeless people. It's rather unusual to see that, which is good, because in the US there's just so many homeless people. And I think overall they just take better care of people, maybe. And this is kind of also unusual, like graffiti. That's actually the first time I've like seen that. These vending machines are pretty common. You could pretty much buy almost anything here. They have coffees and soda, looks like tea and bottled water. Everything's pretty much about $1.30, $1.50. And here's a better view of this sailboat slash steamer, and here's some information on it. It says this boat was built in 1930 and it was used as a training ship for public mercantile marine schools in Japan, and it was later retired in 1984. So it's been sitting here for about 40 years, but it does look like it's pretty well cared for. And you buy tickets to go on a tour, so if you're into sailboats, you can tour this ship here. But don't think I'm gonna have time to do that today. And looks like there's only like one other person on there. Have a little bit more time, just going to walk to part way to the other side of this marina and see what else is going on. There's just a couple more hotels over here, and they do get cheaper the further in that you go. The most expensive one being that 5-star at the very end of the marina. That was like $300. And there's some hotels over here for less than 100, just right across the street. And directly across the street is the Otani Inn, and online it's listed as a 3-star hotel, and one night there is about $90 for tonight. And they also have a couple more hotels in this area as well. There's a APA hotel, which is basically like a franchised hotel, like a Best Western or a Holiday Inn. And that's kind of just across the bay here. That's that giant white building right in the center. Here's another one of these pumps. It says it's a Yokohama Dock Company air compressor from 1918. So that is rather old, and doesn't look like they're using that compressor anymore. But here's the gondola rides, and they basically start from this side over here, and they end pretty much where I started the YouTube video. Let me see if I can get a better view. It goes all the way down pretty much to the end of the bay here. And I believe a one-way ticket on this gondola is about $5, I want to say. I just was looking at it real quickly, and it's a pretty quick trip on this, because it doesn't really go that far. So starts on the other side of this street and it continues on all the way to the end, and there's more shopping. It's called a World Porters shopping mall, and that's just one other shopping mall that they have way at the other side. And there's the giant Ferris wheel, and looks like a few other hotels here. This one is called the Washington Hotel, and I have not looked that up online. Looks like a pretty nice hotel, and it looks like a few other office buildings and maybe a condo building. This one in the center looks like a condo. Anyhow, that will conclude my walking tour of Yokohama Bay. Thank you for watching.